Namaste and welcome to Naaree Talk, the show that gives you everything you need to overcome your limitations and live your best life. Hi, Katrin. Today I'm talking to Katrin Mantay. She's an executive and career coach at Evolve Quest. Her passion is to help as many people as possible to wake up feeling excited to go to work. Prior to coaching, Katrin had a highly successful career as an investment banking and private equity recruiter. During a 12 plus year career, she has interviewed more than 5,000 job applicants, completed hundreds of successful searches for the investment industry, and guided many individuals from young professionals to senior executives to successful career changes. That's very impressive, Katrin. Let me switch
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah, okay, so I'll switch that to the speaker view now. So,
Mhm.
tell me a little bit about how the career in how the industry is changing, because there are a lot of changes coming, right? Uh, I mean, in careers and work as a whole. So, what are the
Yeah.
changes that you've been noticing?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for having me here, Priya.
My pleasure, Catherine.
Lovely to be in your podcast. You yourself have very impressive career
Thank
and the
you.
path to becoming your own an entrepreneur. So
Yeah,
congratulations on that.
thank you.
I know how good that feels.
Yeah,
Um, the what I see in the work career market. And by the way, sorry for the noises. I'm
don't worry about it.
in
Yeah, don't worry.
Thailand at the moment. There is a bit of nature sounds and people maybe. The trend that I'm noticing is that the workplace is changing and becoming more flexible than ever. So I guess
Okay.
this may be the first point that I will mention. And companies who are, the old school, um, with the old school ideas in management, who want people to be fixed in the offices, working, everyone have their own desk or their own office space. This is perhaps going to be something of the past going forward, because many modern companies are, first of all, they're reducing cost by removing that need for everyone to be in the office every single day and hiring those expensive premises in the center of large cities. And so they are becoming less and less competitive if they're keeping this investments going year after year after year, while the competitors are reducing this cost and finding ways and implementing technologies that help the team to be effective, have people like work more flexibly, have a bit more freedom, but at the same time stay effective and deliver the kind of services of products that they, um, of high quality that they set out to deliver. So I think becoming more flexible is for sure like one of the largest trends. And I can't tell you who wrote those statistics, but I can't quote which research did that, but this is like in many news articles you read that by 2025, half of the US workforce will be working remotely or as freelancers,
Yeah,
which I
yeah.
think is a shocking statistic. So we don't have that much time for this
So,
drastic change to
so
happen.
remote work and the gig economy are going to be huge, right? That's what
Absolutely
you
huge.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the second thing is that I'm noticing is that as the as people are becoming more and more skilled in what they do, and there is more and more highly educated, highly experienced people on the market, it is becoming less and less effective to be doing the jobs that you hate doing
Yes. Yeah. Right.
because of so much competition. If you hate playing music and there are thousands of people who are highly talented, but not only that, they're in the flow when they're performing, it's really hard to compete.
Of
If
course. Yeah.
you work as for example, TV. So I work a lot with people in finance. So as you work as a banker and you absolutely hate your job, oh my God, there's so many very bright graduates from top universities around the world who want these jobs, who
Yeah.
would do what it takes for these jobs, and some of them really love doing it. it's very hard to stay ahead of the pack if some of my clients, they have ideas to start their own business or work in doing something creative, for example, and they push themselves into jobs in finance, and suffer as a result sometimes, and experience complain about competition. Not to say that there are people in finance. There's a percentage of people in finance who love what they do, who feel in the right place or in the flow while they're doing the work. So it's very encouraging to see. From my experience, it's about 15 to 20% of people that I speak to, that they actually feel this is their life's work. This is what they want to do. See
So
themselves doing in the future.
that's what you help people do, right? Get into the flow and enjoy their work.
Yeah,
That's your focus,
exactly.
right?
So find out like when are they in the flow? Like what's their flow? What do they really enjoy doing? And I mean, not just enjoy doing, because that could be, this could be a hobby, but something they can also get paid for. And where is this crossover? Is a very interesting sweet spot, which some people call fulfillment,
Yeah,
career fulfillment.
true. That's true, and it's in India especially, it's been very hard for many people to find that fulfillment because we have traditional roles and people will push you. Parents could only think doctor or engineer. I'm sure you must have heard of traditional Indian parents who are like
Absolutely.
that. But today things are changing, and I think things are opening up. People's are changing their minds, though not fast enough, but they still believe that in certain traditional roles. So what do you have to say to people like that?
Oh, that's such a great question. And I'm actually originally from Russia. So I
Okay,
moved to London when I was 18.
right.
And what you just mentioned about these expectations to just follow a certain career path is very much pronounced in my hometown.
Yeah.
For one, because there is a lack of opportunities to do things that I, for example, would enjoy doing. And secondly, an expectation that you may pursue the kind of the career tradition of your family, or something that is lucrative in the town where you are, in the country where you are.
Right.
So it's no wonder my parents, and actually a lot of people in my hometown, there was a huge demand for people who study finance to go into studying
Okay.
finance, economics, and that's what
Right.
actually my first degree is in.
Okay.
Um, but what I found very interesting is that it's very easy to get caught up in this mindset for longer than we need, because it's fine. Like we know our parents, they want really the best for us.
Right.
They're not like really trying to get us into this career because they want that we may not like, because they want to hurt us. Most of the time, because they foresee that this is what will keep us
Employed.
successful
Yeah,
and
successful
earning
and
well and
yeah.
employed. That's
Yeah.
right. But what I realize is that we rarely, once we are employed and we've done this profession that we were kind of expected by our parents or society to follow, we rarely stop. Like once we are financially successful, independent, we rarely stop and think about, okay, so I've done this long enough. Some people are super happy, like the parents are doctors, they become doctors, great, and they are really happy doing that. But some people never stop to check in with themselves, like, am I actually happy doing this? Do I feel energized from doing what I'm doing? Do I experience the state of flow, or am I just biding my time from one paycheck to the next, suffering daily, going in for 8 to some people work like 20 hours a day, I don't know, 18 hours a day,
Mm.
for those hours of suffering every day. And I think this is an alarm bell, is that actually, hello, you need to stop and check in with yourself, like what are you doing professionally?
Yeah.
And a lot of the time, when you're in mid-career, you may have the financial success and the resources, not always, but sometimes people who have that, they don't realize that they can make a different choice, or they
They can.
can now change their direction. And it doesn't have to be U-turn. I was a doctor and I'm an actor. It could be something like I was a doctor and I'm a wellness coach.
Right.
I was a doctor, and now I'm a massage therapist or something, So it doesn't have to be completely unrelated to whatever wealth of experience that you already have. You can absolutely build on that. But the question is that moving towards a space where you feel like you're tapping on what you know, but also doing more of what you really enjoy doing, more of what you're
Right.
passionate about professionally.
Right. Right. And today there are so many options. There is so much more choice than our parents and our grandparents had. And there are so many careers that we can take up, right?
Absolutely.
So I don't think there's.
Actually, that happened to me as well. I just got into recruitment executive search and I loved it to begin with. And I did it for years and years and years until about 10 years later. My friend was like, "Oh, so now you have, money in the bank, you got a British passport now. I guess you can, do whatever you want. You could take a year off, you could go start acting that you really wanted to try, you could, experiment." Oh, and I also didn't have a family, so this was like, a good time. But even being a coach, which I wasn't at the time, I didn't even think of stopping and going like, actually, I don't have those shackles on me. I can choose. It always involves a degree of risk,
Right.
but nonetheless, it's worth it for the journey.
Right. I mean, I think it makes me think of that old thing about the elephant. How they
That's what
break
I thought.
in.
I just don't know
Yeah.
this story well enough. You tell
Yeah.
me.
You should tell it. You should tell it. You should tell it.
Well, it's something about how they train the elephants.
Yeah.
Is it for performance? I think in the circus or something.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
they
How they
how
break
they
them
take
in.
them
How
out
they.
of the wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when they're little, they put the shackles on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, the shackles or rope. I think they put a
They
rope on
shackle. They
them.
put a shackles on them, and then when they grow up, they don't know it's still it's. Then they put a rope on them, and they stay there
Yeah,
because they don't know they can break the rope. It's that mental shackle that we have on ourselves.
absolutely.
Because we are into a career path, and we never think that
Yeah,
we can break that shackle and go into something else. So we just have that little rope holding us in, and like you said, you had all the freedom in the world, but you didn't exercise it.
absolutely. Yeah, that is such a great image. And also, like for anyone listening the podcast, I would love just quickly stop and inquire to themselves. You know, where are they taking on artificial limitations to what's possible for them, to who they
Yeah.
are?
Right.
They might not be the baby elephant anymore. Might be
Yeah.
this huge, magnificent, strong creature who's capable of creating a lot of happiness and fulfillment for themselves and people around them.
Yes, true. And the thing is, we have to start seeing ourselves that way. So
Yeah, absolutely. It starts with us, seeing this in ourselves and finding the confidence to do something about it.
yeah, I think
Important.
that in India we really need that, especially when it comes to Indian women. A lot of them have that, the traditional thing, and they go into doing something, and then they never think that they can do something else, and or they're just unhappy. They're either unhappy in a traditional path, or they want to do something else, and nobody allows them to do it. There's a lot of allowing in India. The family will allow you to do this, the husband will allow you to do that, and we have that
Yeah.
mindset. So you have to realize that you don't need someone to allow you. You have to choose it for yourself. You have
Yeah.
the choice.
I mean, I haven't lived in the culture, so I can't fully probably comprehend, the benefits of having the outside authority or the family, the husbands to allow you to do things. But also, I've experienced both, like kind of the more kind of oppressed, women who are not kind of expected to do more stuff at home, look after the kids, versus develop themselves and do what they want to pursue. And also the Western approach where women are, I mean, completely independent. And not everyone, obviously, but there
Mm.
is for sure, there isn't this expectation. People are just considered for what they want for themselves as well, not just what other people
Yes.
think is best for them. So I wonder for, some of the listeners of your podcast, that where is this balance for working within the culture, but at the same time, no one can allow you anything. Only you can allow yourself
Yes,
to be
exactly.
controlled
Exactly.
or to move towards fulfillment. And
Yes.
it doesn't have to be drastic, but it will require some difficult conversations.
True. Yes, that's true. So we have to start making that. So what do you find? Another thing I wanted to ask you was about young people today. Everyone's complaining about millennials and they don't want to do what they want to do, stuff like that. What are your findings? Because you're in the job market, so you engage with them all the time. What do you think about this? The people complaining about them all the time, and or do you
Yeah,
find that they're just looking for fulfillment compared to the previous generation? Is that it?
yeah. Well, to be honest, I don't work with as many millennials just because from my recruitment experience, I've been more in touch with middle management and senior executives.
Right.
But I am myself an elder millennial. I was born at kind of towards the end of this generation.
Right.
And I have a flexible work style. So I lived in London for 12 years, and for the past 3 years, I've been traveling the world, developing my coaching practice, building this business. And now I'm earning the same amount I used to earn working for a large company in London, which is exhilarating. It's just started happening, but it's a huge encouragement that it is possible.
Yeah.
So that's what millennials tend to do. They insist on doing things kind of their way, which
Yeah.
can be taken to the extreme where they kind of fall out of being able to function in
Right.
this economy.
Yeah.
And yet again, I think it's a question of the balance. I think it's just for me personally, it's wonderful to be able to spend, half of the winter as I do in Thailand, working from here. I'm not on
Yeah.
holidays. I am
Right.
for a week or two, but then I'm working. um, it is wonderful for mothers with children to be able to work from their home office so they can check up on their kids every now and then.
Yes.
It is wonderful to save time from traveling to work every day. Here, especially in India, the traffic is a complete nightmare.
Yes.
So, but also there is a lot of kind of online economy there too.
Hmm.
So, so, so on one hand, I think they are just kind of they're like this elephant. They're like, okay, so our parents struggle just to have a job and just be employed, and millennials are like, I wonder what's possible next. So why stop the progress?
Yes. True.
Is my question on one hand, and forget that we are those beautiful, magnificent elephants, and maybe there is more possible for us. On the other hand, it can be taken too far. I've seen that, and I've also had periods in my career when I was not effective
Hmm.
for the company I was working for, who allowed me to work remotely, and I would have been taken as a difficult millennial to work with.
Right. So I
But I'm
think
happy to have found some sort of balance now.
yeah. So do you have any recommendations? I mean, how did you come back from that? How do you work effectively remotely? I mean, can you give us some
How
tips
do
for
I
that?
work effectively remotely? I think it helped the fact that I worked in the corporate environment for 12 years.
Hmm. Okay.
So it just gives you, and also, just working hard in Russia is just like my whole childhood. It's just nonstop school, ballet, homework, school, ballet, homework, like nonstop. So it helps, I think, especially in the beginning, to have some sort of experience in maybe a more rigid structure, just so that you get used to being effective and
Yeah.
efficient
Right.
in the later career. Because I have seen people who, out of university, they um, don't want to work for anyone whatsoever,
Okay.
and yet it's taking them really long time to really scale their business because they
Of
haven't
course.
had any role models or mentors. So I
Yeah.
believe like the first 5 to 7 years, it's pretty helpful.
To work
um,
for someone, work for an organization, you mean?
yeah, successful organization, yeah, that's they can learn from with people they admire, and they would
Yeah.
love to be more like them, to learn
Right.
from them. um, And what else is, I think doing the job you really love. Because when I was doing the job that I was already not so interested in, which was recruitment, and doing it remotely, I was not as effective. When
Yeah.
I switched to coaching, and I love personal growth and instigating it in others and growing myself, it's so exciting. If I don't, a lot of the time, like if I don't have calls, I feel like disorientated if I'm not coaching.
Yeah.
So, and all the admin just comes in naturally. I'm like, yeah, of course, I love my business, so I want to do my taxes for the business to continue existing. That's
Right.
what I'm actually dealing with this week. So everything kind of just falls more into place when you find your passion is like so fundamental.
Yeah. 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 And you're so much happier. You're so much, more fulfilled, and everything seems smooth and flows. It just flows like, so I kind of got into my writing career and then got into digital marketing and all pretty early in the day. So I found it. I mean, I kind of found my niche, quite pretty early.
Well
So
done.
I was very
Okay.
happy to do that. But of course, the another thing is that you have to keep up with the changes in your industry. Just because you work at home or just because you're working
Mm-hmm.
remotely doesn't mean you should allow yourself to lose touch with what is happening right in the industry
Mm-hmm.
and with other people they, what is happening, kind of it's easy to lose touch right when you work remotely. So I think that takes some amount of self discipline, and also the
Yeah.
desire to keep learning, the desire to be, constantly learn about your industry and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
think that's important, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but today it's easier to learn because you have online courses and you have online education, so it's not so hard to kind of keep up with that.
It's amazing. Yeah.
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 So anyway, so okay, one sec, just hold on. Recording. Yes. So Katrin, can you give us some pointers on how people can find fulfillment in their careers?
Great question. And it's a useful exercise to do for everyone listening, because you may find out you're in your most fulfilling career to date, or you may find out that there is something else out there that's even more inspiring and more fun for you to do. So I've been exploring different kind of concepts and things of going around finding this fulfillment. And more recently, I've come across this Japanese concept called Ikigai,
Yes,
like
right.
Ikigai, Ikigai.
Yeah.
And Ikigai, when applied to career, it consists of, I don't know if it was originally applied to career and work, but this is how it's presented now. So, so Ikigai actually means like fulfillment.
It does, yeah.
So if we use this for career fulfillment, four elements need to be present in your work life for you to have to be in that state of Ikigai fulfillment. So one of them, you need to be doing something that you're good at. So I tried acting, it didn't work so well for me. I wasn't that good at it. So I had to let it go, but find some of the elements of acting that I was enjoying, then mix it up with a few other things. So
Right.
one thing is make a list of things that you're good at, number one.
Yeah.
And this could be, you could ask your colleagues, you could ask your family, your friends, you could actually do a survey. What do they see in you? What strengths do they see in you? If you have performance reviews, oftentimes a theme would repeat itself. You're good with people, or you're good at creating products, or customer support or something else. Number two is what you love. So again, you can make a list of things you love, and they can be related to your profession, or they can be just a hobby. So I may love yoga and cycling and being with people, personal development. So you make a second list of the things that you love. The third point in Ikigai is what is the impact that you would love to have. So they call it what the world needs. And usually this will make your business, for one, it will bring the heart to your business. So you're actually satisfying a need out there. You're not just, setting up the e-commerce of the product that everyone is trading anyway, and it's just not really helping the world or, people around you in some way. But to identify an actual need in the world, and it can be in your community. Maybe there is, it's too far to walk to a retail shop, to get something that people need every day. It could be you see too many people in your industry being unfulfilled, like what I saw. So that's what I saw the world needs. So you pick yours. So this is step number 3. You see what the world needs. And the last one, the fourth one, is what can you get paid for?
Yeah.
Again, you can make the fourth column, things you can get paid for. And you can include some stuff from the past, maybe things you got paid for as a student, doing odd jobs, or things that you got directly paid through your work, through different stages of your career. It could have been different things. Or the things that maybe you kind of did on the side as a creative project, and maybe you didn't get paid too much for it, but still it goes on the list. And so you could do this with a friend, or, obviously very helpful to have a coach to have you go through these 4 areas and creatively brainstorm them.
Right.
So where are the crossovers, and what could they be called in the job market or in business?
Yeah.
If it's a product or service you want to create. So in the external world out there, what is it called? Is it personal development courses design manager? Okay. Is it programmer for an environmental website? Is it, there are so many things and ideas that come to mind. The point is that you make a list of at least 10 of things that would be in line with your Ikigai, with your fulfillment, that incorporates those elements of things you're good at, things that you love, what you see the world around you needs, and also what you can get paid for.
Yeah.
And so once you got there, and this may take some experimenting, because once you have the list, I recommend clients to go for the top 3 and test them out. Yeah, just go talk to people, maybe get a side hustle doing that, and see if that's the thing or not. And as you go along, you get feedback. And with that feedback, you're getting closer and closer to this area of Ikigai fulfillment.
Yeah. And find your niche. I think in entrepreneurial terms we call it finding your niche. But then that has to have all these elements of the Ikigai. Like getting paid for what people need. So yes, and your passion and your what you're good at. So that's a very good, like, that's a really good insight, because I think it gives us a plan to follow. So that we can get started on that, and I've seen these diagrams of the Ikigai thing, that it's like a triangle kind of thing, right? So I think maybe I'll put a link to one of those in the description. So, if people want to come to you for the career coaching, what kind of do you only talk to financial professionals, or also other domains?
So that's where when I started my business, that was my network. So I went to those type of professionals, and currently I have about half of my clients are in the finance space or the fintech, which many people from finance move into tech startups. I coach senior executives like CEOs, founders of those companies, and also middle management. And also people just kind of recommend me to others, and also have a YouTube channel, and people end up watching it from all sorts of places around the world. I never expected to have clients from so many remote countries in the world from where I live. So my calendar is quite crazy, for the time difference.
Right.
So and people who find me through my social media, people I get recommended to, they come from all sorts of walks of life, from the IT industry, from the government sector, from consumer, retail, many different sectors. And so it's most like half is focused on finance, another half is just this surprising box of chocolates. I just don't know what's going to come out of there.
They just turn up from
But
different.
mostly, yeah, I would say, I mean, the really kind of the things that really identify clients that I'm quite successful with working are people in this kind of mid-career crisis.
Right.
People who has been successful in the industry or in the company they've been working for. Quite a few of my clients I would call like the the best employee of the year in their companies, given tickets to fly to retreats and other countries and being treated. And yet on the inside, they feel like there is emptiness.
Yeah.
They feel, that they're not happy day to day, but they just don't know what to do next. And by this time, they're almost like in some kind of, golden cage. It's very difficult to let go of the comfort of the salary and the structure.
Right.
And yet when they do, it's just fascinating to see what they're capable of creating. Because, when you're the star employee of the whole large multinational company, imagine what's possible when you're running your own business or you are in the industry you really love. You just get that much more energy in you and inspiration, and you're that much more successful.
So you help people make that transition, right?
Yes, exactly. To figure out what they want, to get wrap their heads around it, and then go and create those changes.
That's amazing. So I hope I'm going to put your link in the description, and I hope people can sign up on your website and come and offer your career coaching, because I know there are lots of people who need it.
Email me, ask me questions, and
and watch your YouTube channel as well. I'll put a link to that also.
Do that. Yeah, a lot of the best ideas I've come across through coaching I've shared in my videos on YouTube. So please do subscribe and follow the journey, because I'm also learning new things every day.
Great, and enjoy your time in Thailand. I hope you have a wonderful, not vacation, workation, or whatever it is.
Workation, yes, exactly. Thank you.
So have fun.
Thank you for inspiring to meet you. And next time maybe you can tell me more about your journey.
Absolutely, it's wonderful to meet you too. I'll let you know when this is up. I'll let you know when this interview is up. Okay? Yeah. Thank you for listening to Naaree Talk. Visit naaree.com and download my empowering guided meditation and work from home checklist, so you can get started on your journey to emotional and financial independence. That's naaree.com.